Hello guys. Now we have done a lot already. We're not even halfway through. We've already tackled your site settings. We've tackled a coming soon or a freebie type of page. We've done the welcome email sequence. We've spent a few days on the product. We've created an offer to go with it. We're about to move on to designing a sales page that's going to sell your product. But before we do that, today we are going to focus on setting up your student library and the login screen, just so that the branding matches either the course that they're about to log into or your overall website design. Now, to do that, we're going to need to work with the website theme. Okay, so you can either choose one of Kajabi's website themes. They've got a bunch of templates in there that you can start from, or you might be working with one of my Kajabi templates, my custom templates. So let me share my screen. If you are working with a custom template, I'm going to firstly show you how we import it, and then how do we get to those sections that we need to customize today. So let's jump in. All right, guys, so I am back inside of my demo account, and the area we're going to be working in today is this website area over in the sidebar. So we're going to be working with the website theme. So what we need to do is click on to that little menu subcategory, and it's going to take us through to design, and we want to import a website theme into this area. If you're working with one of my templates, that is. Now you can absolutely go and pick a template, a website theme from the Kajabi in-house library if you want to. But if you do want to import a theme, and if your Kajabi account is brand new, then you'll see here that there is no button to import. So what you need to do firstly, even if you don't plan on using one of the native Kajabi themes, you need to go and choose one anyway as a starting point. And then that's going to make magically this button appear that's going to allow you to import custom themes that you might have purchased. So we're going to firstly go into pick a template. And you'll see here that Kajabi have got a bunch of in-house templates that might work for you. I mean, you don't have to go for a custom option. There might be something here that is perfect. So let's just, save this one. We'll select it and we will get started. You can preview it, by the way, and just, see whether or not it's the right fit and get started. And then once you have selected one of Kajabi's themes, then you'll have the ability to import custom themes if you want to. So bear with me 2 seconds and I'll show you how. All right, so that theme that we have chosen has now applied itself at the top here. Still loading, but the picture will come up in a second. And then as we scroll down here, in a minute, you're going to have a little button here that gives you the option to import a template or upload a template. Sorry, wrong wording, better get it right. So while this one's doing its thing, I am just going to go down here and I'm going to click to upload a template, and you would import a website theme into here exactly the same way as we imported those standalone landing pages earlier in the Accelerator. So for me, I'm just going to import it from my device. So I will click here and go off to my computer, and I've got it sitting here at the top. So we'll just wait for it to do its thing, and very patiently. All right, so you can see there that now the imported theme is sitting in this saved templates area down at the bottom. You have still got that Kajabi theme sitting at the top. Now, if your Kajabi account is brand new, you don't really have any traffic to it just yet, nobody really knows that it exists, then there's not really much harm in coming down here and setting this theme that you've just imported to become the live template. Okay, it means if somebody now goes to the login screen of your website, they'll see this branding rather than this branding. And if they go into the student library, again, they're going to see this branding rather than this branding. If, however, you already do have traffic to your Kajabi website and what you're looking to do is more give it a bit of a makeover, and you don't really want people to see the finished product until you're done with customizing it, then if that's the case, I would come into this little paint palette and I would customize your website theme first, put in your own colors and copy and all that sort of stuff. And then once you are happy with it, then set it to live template so that people don't see the template sort of customization in progress. But for us, let's just assume that we all started together like 12 days ago. We don't currently have any traffic to our Kajabi site. So what I'm going to do is set this theme that we have just imported to become the live theme on this account. Set as live template. And wait 1 second. Okay, so you can see now that that theme has now moved itself up here, up the top. And if we come down the bottom, that original one that we started with, that Kajabi theme, is now sitting down here. So when you import a theme and you switch it on, like we just did, the theme that was the active theme just moves into your saved templates down here. It doesn't get deleted. And if you need to, you can always switch it back on. Okay, so it's not going to remove it from the system. If you don't plan to ever use this one, then I would suggest you come over to the 3 little dots and delete it, just so that you don't end up with like a gazillion saved templates in here. Very quickly, Kajabi accounts can get out of control with all of the templates and themes that we collect over the years. So if you don't have any use for this saved template, just remove it. And then all we are left with is that theme that we imported, okay, which is in the Softly Does It style, which matches those pages that we set up at the beginning of the Accelerator. And it will load here in a second. Okay, so from here, we can click into Customize the Website Theme, and I am going to open that up in a new tab, okay? This is one way that you can access the website theme in order to edit it. The other thing that you could do is you could just come over, still in this website menu, but you could go down to Pages, and on this website tab, everything that you see here is what makes up that website theme, but Kajabi have just broken it down into pages for you, or areas for you, so that you can just quickly navigate to the bit that you want to customize. If you go through the other way, so if you go in where we were a second ago into design and you click in to customize that way, then it just opens up for you on the home page of the website theme. And in order to get to the other sections of the website theme, you would use the drop down. Okay, so you could go through and customize the look of the blog, customize the look of the 404, all these things you can customize, but you would go through it using this little drop down. Whereas if you access it through pages, you can just go to it this way and see, if you wanted to customize the contact page, for example, you would just come over here and hit that little paint palette. Now, later on in the Accelerator, we will have a look at lots of areas inside of the website theme, but let's not get too ahead of ourselves, because that's when the overwhelm starts to creep in. What we are going to do today is we're going to look at customizing the library and also the login, right? So let's do the login first, because that's like super simple. So we'll come over here and we're just going to click to customize. I'm going to open it up in a new tab and wait patiently. All right, so here it is. We have got the header bar. And then as we scroll down, we've got the footer bar. Now, if you customize the look of the header or of the footer, it carries over into, over here, into all of these areas. So you don't need to customize the header and the footer for the 404, for the store, for the contact page. It will be the same header and footer for everything that you see here inside of this website tab. Okay, so we just do it in one spot and then we are done. So if I come in over here and I scroll up the top, so up here where we've got the header, and I can either click into it like that, or I can come in and click into it through this section over here. You could come in and make some edits to the text color. You can make edits to what is actually shown in the header bar. Are you going to have the main menu shown across the top, like where individual links are showing? Or the way that I set it up was a drop-down menu. So if you want to add separate elements into the header, just click here to add content. So you can play around with this. If you're going to keep that call to action button in the header, if somebody clicks the call to action button, where should they go? Should it bring up a pop-up to download a freebie, or should it go to book a call on your calendar, or wherever it is that you would like it to go? But just remember that this header is going to show in all of those areas on the website theme. So we would customize the header. We would customize the footer. Make sure you put your own social media channels in here. Something that I should have suggested you do before you do either of those things is just over here, We're right now on the sections tab. So I jumped us straight into header and then I took straight down to footer. But what I would do before you do either of those things is click into this settings tab and go through into the style guide and update what you want to be the primary color. So choose one of your brand colors, what you would like to be the button background color. So these buttons that are coming through on the page. Do you want the buttons to be small, medium, large? Do you want them to be outlined like what you see here, or solid? Do you want them to have slightly rounded edges so that there is a radius of 4? Or, would you like it to be more of a pill shape? So if I just get like this and wait patiently, just like that. And then you can come down and you can do your fonts. Okay, so make sure that you've done as much of the customization of the branding as you can, so that it all lines up with those couple of pages that we did at the beginning of the accelerator when we were building out your coming soon page or your freebie download page. Okay, so we want these areas to match. So apply the same branding in here. And then once you have done that, you've finished playing around with the settings tab, then come over here to sections. And then you can go through and make any edits that you want to the header and to the footer. Now, as far as this login section goes, that's this section right here. You don't have to have an image at the top. We've put one, but you could swap in a logo if you wanted to. Or you could, if you've only got one course right now, then the image here, you could reuse that main feature image from your program because people will be logging in to access that particular program. I should hopefully have it inside of my recent files. Let's see if I can grab it. And we're here. Okay, so there it is there. Now, if you do put either an image here or a logo and you think, oh, it's a bit too big, you can always come in here if you want to and just make it a little bit smaller, and you can see that it stays centered to that block. So if you feel that it's oversized, just change the image width and it measures in pixels. And then as we come down here, we've got the button. You can change down here. It says login currently, but you can have it say something else, and you can change your button colors and make it small, medium, large, whatever you would like to do. Then we have got the actual background type. So if we come in here, right now it is set to none. If I was to go with a color, to show you how that looks, you can see that this particular block here is transparent. So whatever color you put in the background also comes through to this main sort of central section of the login screen. So if you are going to put a color in the background, I would put something like quite light so that all of this is still easily readable. And if you wanted to put an image in the background, then often I'll put an image where there's only, something down here, just something to sort of bring the page to life a little bit. But I often would have an image that leaves the rest of the screen quite white or pale in color, just so that this main area of the login screen will pop out. But you can do whatever you would like in there so that it feels on brand to you. I'm just going to undo so we go back to this white screen. So have a play around with that. And that's really all I need to point out to you guys on the login screen. So that was a nice, easy one. Just so that you can see what I was talking about before with the header and the footer being global across every area of your website theme. Let's just change this background color. Oops, where is it? There, header background color. I'll just make it light green. And change this to something a bit darker so that it doesn't look too horrible. Okay. And while I'm at it, why not? Let's just jump into the site settings and change the button colors too. Let's make that green. All right, let's hit save. Okay, so we changed a couple of things there in the header. We haven't updated the footer as yet, but let's just hold that thought. We'll jump out of the login. Now, in order to go over to the library, you can go up to this little drop down, you could just navigate to the library area, or you can go back to that main website tab inside of Pages, and you can go and find the library area and you can click in to customize from there. Okay, so it's going to take you to exactly the same spot. I'm going to close a couple of those tabs down and we'll wait for it to load. All right, so you can see that that header branding has pulled through onto this library page as well. Okay, now I would spend a little bit of time making the library look interesting for your students, because when they log in, this is the first thing that they are going to see. Now, if when you were doing the login screen, you went over to settings and you went into this style guide area and you applied your branding and you changed your button radius and you did your fonts, that's all going to pull through to these areas as well. So you don't have to do that again if you did it the first time. And over here under sections, you can decide whether or not you want to show this link list that helps students navigate to certain areas on your website. If you don't really feel like you have a use for it, and a lot of us don't, then you could hide it. I often, with templates especially, I like to hide things rather than delete them, just in case you ever want to reinstate those sections later. And then we've got this hero section here, so you could swap out the image and would you like it to say something other than my library? Then we come down to just the spacer. We've got a white spacer there, followed by the beige spacer, those two, so you can swap the colors on them if you want to. And then we get into this main products area of your student library. Now, if I was to click the three little dots beside any of these sections, you see you have the option to duplicate a section or hide a section or delete a section. With the products area, which is the main area of the page, if I click in there, you can see you can't duplicate it and you can't delete it. Because this is the main part, the main system part of your student library, okay? And without this one section, this page will not work, okay? So you have to keep it, but you can decide how you're going to make it look. So if we click into products, you can see here that you can change the text of recommended programs. I don't actually know why it says recommended programs. It should say, because these, what they're going to see here are programs that they actually, or products that they already own of yours. So I would have it say something like my products or my courses, or whatever type of thing you're going to be creating. So we've just changed the text there. Then we will come down and we've got the way that the products are listed right now. Just come down here. All right, so product layout style, it's currently a list. If you're going to be creating a lot of products, then you might prefer to have something like a 2-column grid, okay, where it's going to be more of like this block shape, and you can have 2 or 3 side by side like this. And you can see there that it does pull through the product or the course name from where we were creating the product, and then also the product description. Okay, so that all comes through from the product that we were working on. You don't populate this information here. You also don't upload this image here. Okay, it all pulls through from the product that we spent those few days working on. Okay, so then we come down here a little bit. Now, a lot of these settings you can play around with yourself. You won't need me for that. And I think the next section that I'm going to cover off with you guys is down here, the offer storefront. Now, with our templates, this is a section that we have added just to our templates. If you're working with a native Kajabi website theme, chances are it doesn't have this section, okay? So if you're looking at yours thinking, mine doesn't look the same, this is something that we do with our templates, but it's very easily done, even if you are working with a native Kajabi theme. Okay, all we did was we added a section to the library, and usually I set it up as a custom section. And then inside of the section, I added a text block here, and we added 3 offer blocks. Now, the idea of offer blocks and having them on the library is that it's a great way to upsell or cross-sell to your students when they log in. Okay, so they log in to access a course of yours, and while they're in the library, they scroll down and they see, oh, Jane actually has like some pretty cool like resources, or another mini course that I'm interested in, or one-on-one coaching. So it's just a way for you to advertise other things to your students that they might find useful. Oops, let me just move something out of the way there. Okay, now with offer blocks, if I click into any of these blocks, you'll see that you can connect them to an offer in your account. So in order to promote something here, you would need to have some offers created. So you might set up an offer for one-on-one coaching, you might set up an offer for a bundle of templates you've created, whatever it is. And then you can link to it over here. So if we go in here and I'll just put in this one offer that we were working on the other day. Okay, so it pulls through from the offer the feature image and the title. And if you put a description into the offer, that's going to show here as well, and the price. Okay, so you don't edit that stuff here, just pulls through automatically from the offer. Now you've got this little checkbox here where you can say, but don't show it to people if they already own it. Okay, so if they logged in to access my Sassy Bucks course and I've connected the Sassy Bucks offer down here, and they already have it, it's not going to show it to them. It would just show whatever offer I connect here and here. If you want to show them everything, then just uncheck that box and it will show up for everybody. Now, important point to note here is that offer blocks can only be connected to the checkout. So if somebody clicks this and says, yeah, I'm interested in the Sassy Bucks course, they're going to go straight through to the checkout, which for low priced offers, you know, if it's under a couple of $100 and you don't feel like you need like a full on sales page for it, then it's fine to send them to the checkout. You know, one-on-one coaching doesn't really need like a full sales page with it. But if it's something bigger, like you know, $1,000 signature course or even $500, you're probably going to want to send them to a sales page before you send them to the checkout so that they can learn more about it. Now, if that's the case, offer blocks are not going to be your best choice here. They have this great little feature where you can say, don't show it if people already own it, but they do have that downside of taking them straight to the checkout when perhaps you might want to send them to a sales page instead. So if that's the case, what I would do is I would actually not use offer blocks. So we could hide and hide and hide. And I would often choose to add in instead either a card block or a feature block. Okay, you can do the same with either. Let's just go for card. Okay, in which case, if you do go with either of those, you'll have to upload your own image because it's not going to pull through from the offer. You'd need to put your own description, your own title. You could put the price here if you wanted to. But the wonderful thing about using a card block or a feature block is that you don't have to send them to the offer. You can say, well, look, if somebody clicks this, if they're interested in it, you could send them to the checkout page, or you could send them to a landing page, and then you could choose your sales page from the list. All right, so you've got more flexibility with it. And often, you know, it depends what it is that you're going to be selling, but often you will want that flexibility. Now, if you don't have anything yet inside of your business that you could upsell or cross-sell, then you can still make use of this area. I would encourage you guys to have a think about, you know, what would your students need additionally after they have, you know, either while they're working through your course or after your course, and is that something that you could be an affiliate for? Okay, because, you know, if you're an affiliate and you just know that that service or that course is going to help your students get further ahead, then instead of promoting your own thing down here, you could promote a partner product. And this call to action button is going to go to a URL, and you would put your affiliate link in there instead of sending them to a sales page or an offer. Okay, so that's a couple of tips that I have got for you guys on the library. Your task for today is to come through, import the website theme if you are working with one of my website themes, and then navigate to the login area and the library area. And don't forget, when you are customizing the first of either of those, that you do go over to the settings tab, down to style guide, put in all of your branding first, and then go through the sections and have a look at the various settings and switch things on and switch things off, and you'll have to see, you know, you'll be able to see then what changes in the system. But the best way to get comfortable with it is to come in and just have a play. Okay, so that is it, guys, for day 12 of our Accelerator. We are going to be looking at other areas of the website theme later on inside of the Accelerator. But what we're going to be getting onto next is the sales page. Okay, we've created this amazing product, but now we need a sales page to promote it. So I will see you back tomorrow when we get started on building out our sales page. It's not going to be a one-day process. This one is going to take us a couple of days. So I will see you back tomorrow.